That's a good eating size channel cat. Double header, Barb. Nice one, Barb. Okay. Eat her. Put her in the boat. Aren't those gorgeous channel cats?
Wow.
There. Look at that. Isn't that a nice channel cat?
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing. When you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Catfishing, pro-driven. Raymarine Electronics, Raymarine, simply superior. Pro Sports Boats, tame the waters.
Feels good. Feels like I'm saltwater fishing. When you're fishing at 60 feet of water, the fight is pretty well vertical. Come on. Let's have a look at you. Yes! First channel cat of the season. These guys are schooling fish. This guy's a little bit on the small size. Got to be very careful handling them. Because, oh, he took my worm. Are you going to give that back to me? Probably not. Come on. Oh well, look at, there's a nice young channel cat. Just feeding in about 50-60 feet of water. And they're migrating out into deeper water this time of the year. Let's see if I can get that worm out. No, he wanted it. I'm going to let him keep it. There he goes. Yes, I'm using a walleye series ducket rod to catch channel catfish. So it feels like it's a bit bigger. Perfect eating size is about 3 to 4 pounds. Oh yeah, he's a little bigger. See if I can just lift him in the boat without the net. That's a good eating size channel cat. Okay, and the hook came out, which is perfect, and I got part of my worm back. Look at this guy here. Here, see if I can hold him. Oh, this is actually good. You can see one of the spines here. Can you see that it's got barbs on it? Oh yeah, so you don't want to get that into your hand. You could get hurt. Look at, isn't that a beautiful channel cat? He's an eating size. Gorgeous fish. I love these little dots that they have. A nice green color. Their whiskers. Okay, he's going back. There he goes. When it comes to fall fishing for these channel catfish, number one is locating them. And Barb and I have a few spots that are in deep water here in the Great Lakes. And what happens is these catfish will migrate out from all the shallow bays and some of the tributaries, and they'll stack up in water that's about 50 to 60 feet deep and even deeper. If you can find these locations, they're there for about 2 or 3 weeks and then they leave. But when you find them, you can use a worm, you can use a shrimp, you can use a minnow. You drop it down and literally every drop you get a fish on. Now one thing that's really important is to have a rod that's got a sensitive tip and a good spine. So this is one of the walleye series rods from Duckett. And what I'm going to just demonstrate is that the first, look at it, if I just pull on it very gently, you see the way that rod tip is bouncing a little bit? That's what a channel catfish bite looks like. So if I bend it more, you see that about the first 20 inches bends, and then the rest of it is pretty straight. That's the actual spine. So even though this is the walleye series Duckett rod, and you can see right here, this is the one that's 6 foot 8 inches long. So I'm just going to turn it so you can see the specs on it right there. It's actually the perfect action to even get these channel catfish. And all we're doing is using 20-pound test braid with a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. And a small hook, this is a jig actually, it's 3/8 ounce. So even though we're fishing in 50, 60 feet of water, we want to have a jig that's heavy enough to get down there, but also light enough for these channel cats to inhale. The funny thing is though, you'll have this very light hit. Sometimes you'll set the hook and you'll get maybe a 1 to 3 pound channel cat. Same type of hit, it turns out to be a 15, 20 pound channel cat. So you never know what you're going to hook. I was just going to show you how we're using our worms here. This is just a 3/8 ounce jig head with, I'll hold it with the white background of the hull of the boat, just with a half a worm. Okay, Barb?
Yes.
You feel like a pretty good one?
It does. It feels pretty good, actually.
It's a nice break, eh?
It is nice.
From casting crankbaits and stuff. If you step back a bit, we might be able to lift it right in the boat without the net.
Okay.
We could get some big ones though, you know, like 10, 15 pounds. You're doing great, Barb. Okay, here, so we're just going to go like that. And I'll see if I can grab the leader. It's another nice eating size. Come here. Gorgeous. And right in the boat. And, ooh, gotta watch those barbs. I don't think so. We're going to let him go. Look, these are perfect eating size, Barb. Look at how plump his belly is. He's been eating well. He's got your worm.
You took it.
You want it back?
Okay.
Here, go ahead.
Okay.
So you're not getting that worm. Okay, there he goes.
Okay.
How does it feel, Barb?
Just okay.
This is kind of neat, eh?
Yeah, it is.
I'll check my rod to make sure I don't have a fish biting. Let's have a look at him. Oh yeah. Another, just a little smaller guy here. Swing this over. There. It's amazing, eh? How deep of water they're in. And you might need a bit more worm on there. Look at, like the way he's got his mouth shut on it. Maybe not. Let me see here. Can I get it? No. There. You got some of your worm back.
Okay.
There you go. And there goes the catfish. You know, the nice thing about fishing for channel cats like this, you can just relax and sit in the boat. I'm amazed at how light they hit when they hit. Sometimes you think you got just a small fish on, and then it turns out to be a good size one. These are all leaders, but we may get some bigger ones coming in. We've hooked channel cats like this in the fall that are 15, 20 pounds. Come here. There. I'll tell you what, I've had these to eat before, and the fillets are so beautiful because the water's getting colder. Look at gorgeous channel cat. Okay, he's back. There he goes. Got him. You can see the head shakes. Oh, got off. Better check my worm. I felt like a good fish. I could feel the head shakes. Yep, look what he did to me. Okay, I'm going to throw a worm on. So we're going to take my wet gloves off. And let's see here. We're going to give him a nice chunk of night crawler. Like that. And like that. Doesn't have to hang. You can see it's just literally like a glob of worm. That's perfect for them because they are hitting lightly. And we're going to drop that back down and cover our worms up and get a little bit of that worm love off me. And because we're in 60 feet, it's taking a while for that line to fall. This is where braid really helps because it's limp. So I'm giving it little tugs. So we've got some windy conditions, but that electric is keeping us on anchor mode right on the spot. Took us a while to find them today. We had to move around a little bit, but we located them. Now it's just a matter of hooking up on them. Okay, so I'm on bottom. And right under the boat. I could go with a heavier weight, but I find the 3/8 ounce is nice and light and they can grab it. Barb, you got another one on?
Yeah.
Way to go. Okay, I'm coming over. Way to go, Barb. There. I like the way you stand up in fighting mode.
Yeah.
I don't mind fishing in the cold when the action is so hot. It's almost been non-stop. Oh, little guy. Yeah, flip him up. Yep. Small one, but you know what? Guys that like eating catfish would probably keep it. Yeah, he's a young one. There. And you're still doing okay with your worm? Oh! Got a fish on. I put the butt of the rod underneath the rod runner. It's right over there. Well, I didn't want the fish to pull it in, right, Barb? So he's not big. I don't think. It's probably another eating size. I won't be surprised if we get a good size one on, Barb. But you know what? They're all fun. There. Go. I wonder how long he was on my worm. Because there's not much left. I'll tell you one thing they do. They shut their mouths and they don't want to open them. I'm trying to save my worm. Can I do it? I got a part of it back. Okay, Catfish, you're gone. There. Okay, we got our worm on there. We're in position. Let's see how long it takes to get a channel cat on. Just gonna let it go to the bottom. Even for ice fishing, you know, when I'm using an ice fishing rod, what I'll do is if I'm fishing deeper water like for lake trout, I'll lift my rod up just to get a lot of line coming off the spool so it can drop, especially if you're using a lighter jig head. So I'm just trying to get that line off to get down to the bottom. Most people would use a heavier jig head in 50-60 feet of water, at least a ½ an ounce or 5/8, but I like the 3/8. Okay, so we're there, and now we're going to see. I try to keep my rod parallel to the water, so not up in the air. And the reason I do that is so that I have enough room to set the hook. Let's see here if we can get a fish to bite. So this is classic still fishing. Come on. You know there's got to be quite a few channel cats when you can almost get one on every drop. So my line right now is right on bottom. I'm lifting it up only an inch or two, and I'm not lifting it up to jig or to attract the fish. I'm lifting it up so I can sense if there's a channel cat that's nibbling on my worm. Because this time, oh, there's a nibble right there. And if you can see it right there, come on. Got it. Good head shakes. He's not huge, but he just, I don't know if you saw how lightly he was hitting it. Even the big fish that we get, 10-15 pounds, will hit that lightly. I'm going to try to flip this guy in the boat. So it's cranking up. It does remind me of saltwater fishing, where you're fishing on bottom for like snapper and grouper. That's what we're talking about right there. That would be classified as an eating size fish. And I got to be very careful there. I'm going to take that hook out. I'm trying to take that hook out. He was hooked right in the side of the mouth, which is perfect. Look at beautiful channel catfish. And I'm going to toss him back. Now that worm got pulled off, so I'm just putting it on a little bit better. Let's try another drop. See if we can get another fish on here. So drop it back down. You know, this is perfect if you're out as a couple, and I'm out with my wife Barb today, or if you have some seniors. If the weather was a little bit warmer, I would get my dad to come out. He's 87 years old. He still loves to fish, but if it's cold out, it's not really good. Perfect for kids if you want to get kids into fishing, but it's best not to have them handle the fish until they get a little bit older, just because of those spines that they have on their fins. So I'm almost on the bottom here. There, we're on the bottom. Pick up the slack line. And let's see if we can get another one on real quick here. This is a great way to spend a few hours, and they are great eating. I know a lot of people haven't eaten catfish. When I remember back 20-30 years ago, a lot of people would go out in the springtime to get mud cats, they called them. And those were brown bullhead. They're a smaller variety of catfish, but they're great eating. But now I don't think people go out for them much anymore. And the channel cats, you know, sometimes we get them casting lures when we're fishing for other fish like pike, walleye, and bass. But this time of the year you can actually target them. And you can use cut bait, or you can use shrimp, or you can use worms. And get them. Oh, there's a bite right there. Come on, eat it, eat it. Ah, pulled it out of his mouth. Does this look like a juicy bait to use for channel catfish? They sure are. This is a Canadian night crawler, probably harvested from somebody at night, probably on a golf course. You know, when I was younger, I used to harvest night crawlers, and we'd have these pails on our legs, and we would group them, 500 per little pail, and then we put them in boxes, and then we'd get paid for it. And then I'd get a headache because you're bent over all night trying to catch these night crawlers. Now, here's how we hook them. This is the head of the night crawler. This is the tail. The head is always darker and a little bit wider. This is called the collar. They've got a collar right there. So all I'm going to do is literally sew the worm on, just like this. And I'm going to try to pack it on this hook. So this hook has a very light wire grub barb, which is great right there, because it won't break the worm apart. But if I slide the worm over it, it'll hold it there. So what I'm going to do is slide that right over, tight, and I'm going to keep winding it and winding it. I don't want too much of it. So that's about it. So there it is, ready to go. Doesn't that look appetizing? So this is all you need if you're fishing in deep water in the fall and trying to get these channel catfish to bite. Now, even though the hook is right there, you still have to wait a little bit when that rod tip goes like this before you set the hook. Okay, let's get another one. Oh, you got one, Barb? Keep the pressure on. I'm working over here. See if we can get a double header. Actually, I'm going to come over there and help you. If I feel one on, I'm going to set the hook. Oh, I got one working on mine too. I was just explaining to them how gently they bite. Let me know when you get it close to the top, Barb. How does it feel, Barb? Oh, mine left it. Yep, I'm going to put my rod down under the rod runner. Oh, that one's bigger. So if a fish grabs it, oh yeah, this one's a little bigger. Come on over here. Easy, easy. We've got our 20-pound fluorocarbon leader on, so we can grab these guys. I'm amazed at how nice and chunky they are, Barb. There, look at gorgeous fish. Okay, there he goes. Okay, I'm gonna get the net, Barb. Hold on. And you just dropped that down. Way to go, Barb. Ooh, they fight good, eh? Even in the colder water. Takes a while, just steady cranking. Oh yeah, it's a nice eating size. We're gonna let him go. There. And get that out of the mesh. Perfect. You got to be so careful handling these guys. You can see the way I'm holding it. Look at those pretty eyes and those pretty whiskers and barbells. The best way is to actually lock your fingers around the spines. I try to stay away from the dorsal one. And even when you're releasing them, very important that you pull your hand away as you're dropping them into the water. They're just so healthy, just like that. Eat it. Yes. Okay. 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 He's a bigger fish. That is funny. Look at, that's not the bottom. Better loosen my drag off a little bit. That's going to be a good sized channel cat. Oh yeah. I'm going to have to get over here. This guy's going to be bigger. And I got the net down. Oh, yeah. Can you tell he's bigger? I've got no control over this fish. It's funny because the bite was light, just like a small fish. That's what I said earlier. Only this guy's a little bit chunkier. How about a lot more chunkier? If I don't lose him. It's actually hard on my right hand because of the torque on this guy. Haven't seen him yet. I'm loosening my drag off because I'm getting him close to the top just in case he does that. Nice and easy. Oh yeah. He's a nice channel cat. Man. So much fun to get on these lighter, like a spinning outfit. I'm gonna get him in the net. Okay, watch this guy. There, look at that. Isn't that a nice channel cat? Oh, let's see if I can get my finger underneath here. Oh, man, it's tight to get in there. What a gorgeous fish. There, got the hook out. It's going to drop that over the sides. Look at, I'm just going to show you this. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous fish? Beautiful. Look at that beautiful profile. Isn't he beautiful? Wow. That fish is probably about 24 inches long. What a gorgeous fish. I'll tell you, this is what fall fishing for channel cats is all about. And it's amazing. And you get nice chunky fish like this. What a gorgeous animal. Mwah. Look at how beautiful he is. Okay, there you go. Wow, gone in a bullet.